Hooty hoo, you're live.
Well, hello, everyone. I guess he's not doing the intro at all, so that's fine, I guess. We're live and my phone now goes crazy.
Mine too.
Shit. All right. Well, tonight it's just me, Scott, and our buddy Mark Sibbett, who some say is the fourth most famous person in Omaha.
Famous. The fourth tallest comedian. Maybe the third tallest comedian.
Looks like Ben Stiller, but way taller. How's it going tonight, guys?
It's good, man.
I'm doing fantastic, yeah.
Good. Scotty, I love having you on the show. Are you missing doing stand-up now that you're stuck not being able to go to bars?
Yeah, it's been really hard. I'm trying to start a watch party. Sorry.
That's what I've been doing too. I'm trying to get that going.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Let me do that. Okay. But while I'm doing that, let's talk about the stand-up thing. Like, the hard part about the stand-up is a lot of the experience comes from being in front of the audience, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody
told me they did a live stream one, and they're like, it was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever done, doing stand-up in my living room to a camera.
So I did that online one at the back line, and I normally use a green screen in my backdrop, but I don't like how it works on StreamYard, but it works really well on Zoom, and they've done Zoom. And remind me to talk about Zoom here later. Put a pin in that, will you? But normally I use a green screen, and I took a big black backdrop with a red line through it as my backdrop, so it looked like I was at the back line. And I had a lot of fun doing that online open mic. But it's an entirely different experience doing that, because you play off the energy of your audience so much when you're telling the jokes. You play your pauses off of when they're grasping on, and if they're engaged or not engaged, and you can't tell online. So in that regard, it was a very weird experience. But it was also a very fun experience, I felt like, because it was like a chance to see all these people online again, and people that you're used to seeing at the open mics. They're all on the computer. Of course, you run the risk of somebody showing up in their underwear. Anyway.
That wasn't me, by the way.
That was not Mark.
Not me.
Who did that? Name names.
I'm not putting anybody on blast. Matt Wedlock.
He wants you to put him on blast. He's proud of that. He's proud. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, he's a good dude. He it was good to see everybody. We even had some people that we don't normally see because they were able to dial in from further out of the region, which was nice. They're doing another one tonight, probably starting right now, as a matter of fact. So, don't leave our podcast. We're actually going to probably be funny too. But and in fact, yeah.
Don't set the bar too high, man.
But yeah, the comedy thing, like, a lot of comics are using this time to write. A lot of these comics are using this time to write. And the challenge I have from a writing comedy perspective is I get a lot of my influence from the outside world. I people watch a lot, so a lot of my shtick comes from, I'm going to turn that guy into a character and tell a joke about that. You know what I mean? So it's hard being on lockdown, because I'm not going out to the stores like I used to, or hanging out at the parks like I used to, and that kind of stuff. So yeah.
I think for me, it's been a refreshing break, because I've been doing it for about 4 years now. And so all the open mics and stuff that Mr. Z that you've been doing over the last 6 months to a year, whatever, it's like I've been doing that for 4 years straight. So for me, I'm actually using it as a break, because I've been going hard lately. And so I'm still trying to, I have been, so
I believe it.
I basically went all in, in the last 6 months or so, but, so I'm trying to mix it up and do other stuff, like read and write and do some other shit. She's laughing at me.
So that's funny that you should say that, because I've actually been spending the time that I would have normally been spending writing comedy. working on a Star Wars role-playing game, Dungeons and Dragons style tabletop role-playing game campaign, like writing this cool story that's been stuck in my head. And I'm like, I could just put it all out there, right? So you talk about being able to read a book, fucking sit out on your patio and enjoy a nice day and not have to worry about it. That's awesome.
What's the last book that you read, Mr. Z?
The last book that I read or the last book that I'm reading?
The last book. Well, if you're reading something right now, what is it?
So I'm reading a book called Rise of the Rebellion, which is set right at the beginning of the rebellions period during the 1680s up to the 1776, that time frame leading up to the treasonous acts of overthrowing the British government. So that's what I'm currently reading. The last book I actually read. It was a Star Wars Han Solo story. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Planet of something or other.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
I know, right? You're in your man cave right now, huh?
I'm totally down in the lab. My son calls it the lab. Yeah.
He's got a bunch of little random stormtroopers just throughout the place. They're just jumping out at you.
That's funny. Yeah, my Star Wars collection, my Star Wars wall. It actually used to be a Star Wars room. Like I had a room for them, and only certain things made the cut on my shelving down in my basement in my lab when we did the remodel. So everything else that I have is living in plastic tubs right now, Rubbermaid tubs, and I'm just clinging onto it for dear life. And every once in a while, my wife's like, "Are we gonna get rid of that?" And I'm like, "Nope. I'm gonna hand that down to my grandkids." Yeah. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, Declan, you're getting all that stuff. So
as soon as you know it, you have 5 different storage facilities in like 5 different cities, like one of my grandma's right now.
You're gonna be a hoarder, Scott? Is that what's gonna happen here?
I'm not a hoarder. I'm not. No, but I've been a Star Wars collector for years. And here's the thing, like it's like a default setting for gifts. Most of what I have has been gifted to me by other people. And what do you give the guy that has everything? Well, he loves Star Wars, so give him anything Star Wars, and he's happy with it. And that's what happens. So,
well, and there's millions of different Star Wars memorabilia too. You know what I mean?
Right. It could be big, small. It could be a keychain. Yeah.
You've probably never gotten a repeat gift, actually.
Yeah. No. Yeah, maybe a couple of doubles, but it's like my father-in-law. He's a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. Right? So knowing that he's a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, if you ever have to buy a gift for him, you just buy something Cowboys related. Right? Right. So like when I got his name at Christmas, like he's such a big Cowboys fan, I got him a copy of Brokeback Mountain and a Dallas Cowboys hand towel. I hope he enjoys it. So
it ends up being a super impersonal gift though when you just end up giving Cowboys stuff or Star Wars stuff. You know what I mean? It's like there's billions of people that are receiving Cowboys stuff right now.
That's funny. Yeah. So Mark, you besides comedy, you work in the service industry, yeah?
Yeah, I took a big hit recently.
I bet.
A couple weeks ago. So the comedy club that I work at pretty regularly, and I had a bunch of gigs that were lined up in the next couple months too. But the Comedy Loft in Lincoln, that's shut down, I think, until at least like mid-May right now, is what the Lincoln mayor said.
Oh, God.
So that's shut down. And then I work at Mahogany Steakhouse, and that obviously had to close too. So right now that's the end of April, but I don't know. End of April, middle of May. That's what I think it's looking like, but who really knows, you know?
So yeah, Lincoln extended theirs to May 6th, it looks like, right? So May 6th, they've done their not shelter in place, but
sure.
Dude, this is
tentatively May 6th.
Right.
It's so annoying.
I was excited for this podcast, though. Like I feel like I had a hot date lined up tonight, you know?
It is a pretty hot date, man.
It's like one of the only things I've actually done in the last 2 weeks.
That's so funny. Yeah, Mark and I were talking the other night. We get to see each other usually about once a week, but he was like, yeah, I'm going to my mom's for dinner. It's like the first thing I've got to go do. I'm kind of excited. And then I'm like, the next time I see him, like, I'm going to my parents today for dinner.
Yeah, right. I feel
ridiculous.
like some people judged me too for going to my mom's for dinner, and it was just a 2-person get together, you know.
Oh God.
And it's like, okay, some people have the luxury of having a wife that they can go to bed with every night, or a spouse, or kids that they can hang out with during the day. It's like, it's me and my buddy Johnny. You know what I mean? It's me and my dog Johnny. That's it. I just needed some human contact.
Nothing wrong.
First time in 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah. I had a question come up on my watch party from one of my old friends, Scott Durham from back in Phoenix. He asked me, he says, Scotty Z, how did you in fact become the Zimbo? And interesting fact, Scott Durham called me Zimbo, and that's how I became the Zimbo. So, no, we managed. We worked at a same record store. We worked at Zia Record Exchange out in Phoenix, and Scott was super knowledgeable about all kinds of deep catalogs, deep cuts. Customers could come in and ask about some random song, and he could answer it. But me, I was more in tune to the modern pop culture, so like what was happening on the radio. So.
Top 40.
I mean, top 40, Billboard top 200. Basically, I knew my way around the top 200. So he'd have customers come in and sing a song they just got done listening to on the radio, and he'd be like, "I have no idea." Hey, Zimbo, and I'd have to come over and answer their question. And they'd hum a bar of two, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again." You know. So hi Scott, thanks for watching, man. I appreciate that. So.
Eric Beasley, I'm about to send you a picture of your house. Don't fuck with me.
All right. I think I figured out this watch party thing finally. We got some joiners.
How do we get people to make chats over here on the StreamYard screen? How does that happen?
So we just tell them. You have to go to the Drunken Disorderly page, either on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, and we will see your comments in the live stream.
Yeah, please do that.
And that way we can see them and respond to you and respond accordingly. You know, sometimes it's faster a hand gesture, sometimes it's not.
Faster response time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm checking mine, but, you know, I'm not going to do that all night because I feel rude. And I make weird faces when I go to other tabs and I'm not looking. So that has to stop because I rewatch this and I'm like, oh, my good God, what was going on here? Oh, I was looking for something.
Yeah.
Scott, I just told somebody about your badass drum set behind you.
Oh, my badass drum set. You want to see it?
Shout out to my buddy Dane. He said, it looks like you're broadcasting from a submarine.
Nice.
A submarine with windows?
To be exact, this is sub-level 42. Sub-level 42 in the man bunker, prepared for the shit to go down.
Oh, man. This is officially the first online thing that I've participated in since the quarantine.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. I've kind of isolated myself.
Oh, God. Okay, so Maggie is digging the new profile pic. I need to talk about this. I'm so sorry, guys. This is a local artist did this for us. His name is Jeff Dedlow. I can't remember how we met him, but now he's a good friend of the show. And if you've got his link, now would be a great time to put it up. It's Dedlow Design Studios. Zachary. Zach.
Zach's just hanging out.
What do we need Zach for?
I want him to put Dedlow Design Studios link up so people can see that. But I will just go to our page and put it there. My damn self.
Post it there.
Yep. Okay.
She's talking about your profile pic, Dre?
No, she's talking about the new cartoon for Drunk and Disorderly.
I guess I hadn't seen that.
It's in the corner. Can't you see it like right now?
Oh, I didn't even fucking notice.
Jesus.
You kind of have to have your eyes open for that.
Oh, yeah, that's a little easier said than done these days, Mark.
How do I pin this?
This is fun, man.
Oh, whatever. Sorry, Zach did it.
I feel like I'm a part of civilization again.
Yeah, I hosted an online St. Patrick's Day party Your Uncle Dave was there. We had the old crew. I call them the Jedi Council, right? All the old 30th and California Street gang was on there drinking beers. We stayed online for a couple hours and drank some beers and took some shots and had a good time. So we've been making do. Like, we should do this more often, Mark. Get you online and do some hanging out and chatting, because
I went over to the house. I went over to the California Street house. My grandpa took me over there when I was a sophomore. We went over to say what's up to David. So I was a sophomore in high school, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is what college is going to be like." That place was. It was.
What's it like? I don't know this place.
Maybe Scott. I don't want to describe it for Scott. Go for it, man.
California
Street.
Street.
Go ahead. I'm curious what your impression was.
The California Street house, like, it was. Let's just put it this way: it was a party house.
All right. So let me tell the story real quick. So me and a bunch of my friends, three other friends, all decided we were moving out of our parents' house. This is the first time we were out living on our own, and we got into this house on 30th and California. There was two houses.
I know the intersection. Yeah. Go on.
So now those houses aren't there anymore.
Right.
Because our next door neighbor, the meth head, the crackhead that lived in the basement, was digging a hole to the portal to hell. And what happened was he finally reached that portal and it sucked the two. So now it's a parking lot. But that was our first time. And so it was a very coming of age house for us. This total bachelor pad. It was basically our version of a frat house. We got a bunch of rock stars, a bunch of people that want to be rock stars. We got music, all that stuff. And apparently Mark decided to come over and visit with Grandpa. Was it a pop-in visit, or do we know you guys were coming?
I don't know if Grandpa was trying to teach me a lesson or something, or if you just wanted me to stop by and say hi to Uncle David with you guys. It was just a party house, basically. Once I got to college, I totally understood everything.
Yeah.
It all made sense.
It all came together.
It did.
So what happened was, so our little core group, myself and the three friends that moved into this house, made friends connected with the next door neighbors, who also rented out the whole floor of their house. And it just basically turned into one big party mesh between the two houses. People used to go back and forth between the two houses. And like over here,
I was probably there.
You probably were there at some point in time, Dre.
Well, because I knew somebody. I was dating somebody quite seriously who lived on 33rd and 32nd in California or whatever. I don't know. That house is no longer there either, and it had a tunnel between it and the house next door. It was super, super creepy. I would never go in it. It was dirt. But anyway, go on.
So he lived across the street. He was on the other side of the street.
I partied in several houses on those blocks.
I've lived in several houses like that in college.
That's awesome.
Oh God,
that was definitely a coming of age house for us, man. I learned a lot about real life living there. So.
Was Cali Tacos open during that time?
That's funny.
Dude, I was so fucking poor at that time. That
would have been the place you would have been eating, because they had like dollar tacos that were huge.
I was fucking cooking rice-a-roni and ramen noodles at home, dude. If I ate, it was mostly just booze. Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah.
No worry. I mean,
yeah.
There was quite a while where I considered beer dinner.
Yeah, 30th. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. What was funny is we only went to college for about a year, and then we all dropped out of college, but we still stayed in our college party phase for about 5 more years. And yeah, it's good times.
At least it was only 5.
Mark's still there.
Holy shit, man. Yeah, just in time for a beer advertisement here. Right. This is really one of my favorite beers, though. Zipline Brewery is in Lincoln. This is not one of our sponsors or anything for this podcast. It is not. But this is one of my favorite beers. It's a German-style Kolsch Zipline. They also have a nut brown ale. I think it's called Copper Alt. That's a super good beer, too. It's not a nut brown ale, but it's Copper Alt, it's called.
Nut brown. All right.
Check it out. Hey, you took it there, not me.
Dude, they can't take beer delivery away from us. Now that we have beer delivery, like booze delivery, they can't take that away from us, right? Like,
do we have it in Omaha?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can get beer delivered. Chug Hub.
Chug Hub. I'm gonna write that down. So I went looking for
also
Everclear
not
or
a sponsor.
Gem Clear today. Yeah, not a sponsor, but you know, as long as I can get it delivered, hell yeah, I'll pay for it too. I don't give a fuck.
Right. Yeah.
Seriously, that was the one thing we could not get delivered in Omaha until just now. It was booze.
Yep.
I'm like, I can get my groceries delivered. I can order anything I want from fucking Amazon except for booze. This is so stupid. Why can't I order wine through the mail like a regular person in any other state?
Like a regular person.
Like a.
Oh shit. I found a use for my height finally today. Actually, it's kind of a survival skill. So I started opening doors from the very top of the door where no one else can reach, and so I just open them that way. Like in our neighborhood or in my in my apartment complex, we leave the door cracked for each other.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't tell people where I live now, but we leave it cracked, and so I just reach all the way up to the very top where no one else can reach, and I just open it that way.
Nice.
Protect myself from the virus.
That's awesome. See, I always try to grab where I think other people will never think to grab in normal situations because I think people are disgusting. Or if I do that,
I do that. I make puppets.
I like the little. There's a little foot grabber thing at the Hy-Vee bathrooms, and you can just pull it open with your foot. I like that.
Yes, there's I can't remember the brand, but I see them at some restaurants too in the bathrooms, so that if they don't have if they use hand dryers or whatever, because they're too cheap to buy actual paper towels that are actually more cleanly. Sorry, that's my gripe. I hate those. They just blow gross particles all over the fucking bathroom.
Yeah.
Tara. Hey, Tara. Chug Hub is not the fat girl porn site. That's Chub Hub. That's a different website altogether. So people are still commenting on my live feed. Hey, if you're watching on Scott Zimmerman's live feed, go to the Drunken Disorderly page and comment there so we can see your stuff going on.
Yeah. Why don't you drop the link for him there on your page so they can just click?
I'm
trying to make things easy for people.
All right. Let's see here.
See how we do that.
Oh, just don't open another tab that makes it loud. So Reportin is actually delivering, I can order a Bloody Mary and they're going to come deliver it to my house. That seems kind of rude to ask. You would at least need to order a picture of them, right?
I would think so.
Maggie, I'm trying to talk to your thing there. She's talking about a friend of the show owns a bar called Report In, and she's saying that they're delivering Bloody Marys. I've been seeing them. They're doing fantastic business of carry out and of their food and liquor, but I didn't know they were delivering. That's awesome. They're not that far from me.
I did not know that was a possibility. Changes a lot of people's lives, I think.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hello, Jen, Lindsay, Cam, Carlos, Diana, DeVera.
Minimum order. So you know what I'm thinking? Is there so they say no more than 10 people, right? Why don't we just have small get-togethers and order a bunch of fucking food and booze? And if we have more than 10, who the fuck is going to know the difference if it's at your house?
So they're trying to get people to report people, dude. They're trying to be fucking rats. That's the big push right now is rat on it. Here's a number to call. Here's a website you can go to report people with more than that's a thing, Dre.
What country is this?
So just for the record, there's a hospital shortage right now. So snitches will no longer be allotted stitches. Right? Snitches are going straight to the ditches.
Fuck yeah. You know what? You're going to have to wait in line for months to get stitches, bitches. So I just get in the ditch. Fuck off.
No, that's a thing. That's a thing. They're report people where there's more than 10. You know, we had a lady when we were all at the school handing out stuff for the kids, by the way. When we were handing out the kids' personal belongings and textbooks for them to study at home, we had a lady counting cars in our parking lot.
Oh my God. Shoo. Do you not have other evil to dispense with? Karen. I hate saying that. I
Karen,
hate it.
come on, Karen.
Pretend I just no. I strike that from my language.
Hey,
It's
that's
just
my
stupid.
that's my grandma's name. Okay, I take it
Yeah,
easy
I
on my
just think
grandma.
it's fucking stupid, and I just don't like it. The connotation.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're calling in people, go fuck yourself. I'll
Right.
go and hang out with my friends. Like, so I saw a Snapchat today. I'm not going to say the name of the bar, but these regulars at this neighborhood bar don't give a fuck. Bar's still open because they can do carry out, right? The regulars are all hanging out in the fucking parking lot.
Nice.
drinking. They're just going in and getting drinks as they need them.
Nice.
They don't give a fuck. These people are like probably 45, 50-ish to like 65-ish,
Sure.
that age group. And they're just like, nope, we come here every fucking day. We're not stopping now. But they weren't standing super close, so there's that. And they're all outside.
It's really interesting. This is like one big social experiment of everybody's reaction to this. And it's obviously a controversial topic, but I had to go out today, and I was driving by the Walmart that's on like 120th and L, and somebody got T-boned like right as I was driving by, and so this big accident happened right there this afternoon. And everybody was just kind of in their own little survival mode. And they're like, everybody just tried to pull a Yui real quick and skirted out of there to the right. And I did the same thing. Everybody's just like worried about what they have going on. And I don't even know if anybody stopped to help these two. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Both somebody did, because there was tons of cars there.
Yeah,
it was an obvious wreck. It started jamming up traffic, but everybody just skirted out there as fast as they could. And it's just like, can you imagine that person getting into a car wreck? Like, I'm sure their life is probably already stressful. Like, who knows how stressful it is right now because of all this.
Right. They could have lost 2 jobs too.
Maybe that's what they were thinking about when they T-boned somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Sucks, man.
Somebody crashes into me. The first thing I'm yelling is 6 foot, motherfucker. 6 foot.
I am not taking that seriously at all.
That airbag looked like it was about 6 feet.
Nah, that's crazy, dude.
They were both huge.
You hope somebody's okay, right? Everybody's all right, but
yeah,
the way they make cars, really.
No, couldn't even see the person. It was 2 airbags that were like giant airbags, and I couldn't even see either of the people in both cars.
Wow.
So I have no idea.
So they were newer cars.
Whatever.
So if the airbag's deployed and nobody was ejected, I think it's safe to assume that they're okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach, somebody's got a dwarf question. Since you're the D&D guy, there you go.
I don't know the answer.
I would say yes. They can gather in groups of 20. I'll allow it.
Halflings.
I'll allow it.
My grandma is like 5 foot. I was raised by my grandparents, as both of you know, but she's super small. I used to call her a halfling. She'd get all pissed off and chase me around the house.
So what was that like when she would yell at you and she's like yelling up? Because I had my daughter was taller than me when she was about 12, and it sucked for me because she's bigger. She can literally lift me up and move me. And I'm sure you could obviously do the same to your grandma.
Well, yeah. So eventually I could, but when I was in 7th grade, she was strong as hell, actually, and she still is strong for a grandma. But so when we had this household thing where everybody would have to arm wrestle each other and then rise through the ranks, and then eventually we would have to arm wrestle my grandpa. And my grandpa was a major league pitcher. And a dwarf question. Well, yeah, no shit.
Oh my God.
Somebody did have a dwarf question, yeah. Anyway, I don't even know where we were going with that, but
it's all right.
We had to arm wrestle our way up through the ranks, and we had to go through my grandma because she was that strong. So in 7th, 8th grade, I actually barely just beat my grandma for the first time. So she's kind of a badass, but
she's a firecracker.
She's a firecracker.
She is.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mess with her.
Her name's Karen. She's a Karen.
And she is.
She's a Karen.
There's nothing wrong with that name. God damn it. I hate that stupid joke. It's not even a joke. It's just stupid and rude.
Right?
She's a Karen.
What was that lady's name from the 8 kids had the 8 kids all at once. What was her name?
Oh, with the blonde hair and
Yeah.
husband who cheated on her.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Kate.
Then
Kate plus 8.
So now we push it. We change it to Kate because Kate. All right, Kate. That's enough, 8. Kate. That's enough, Kate. We switch it to Kate's because everybody hated her, right?
Oh yeah. She's a mean bitch. That's probably why he cheated. I don't know. Whatever. 8 kids is a lot of fucking kids at one time. God damn. I can't even imagine 2, let alone 8 at one time. Like just boom. There you go. You got 8.
I can't imagine one more than a few hours.
Right.
It's challenging. My daughter was here the other night for several hours and I had to ask her to leave. In my defense, she was drunk and like starting to, get fired up. So both of us drunk and fired up. And it's just time to call it a night.
No, Eric Beasley, I refuse. I refuse to latch into this tiger thing that's going on the internet. I refuse. We're not going to call her Carol. We're not switching the name to Carol. I know trying.
But Carol Baskin is a damn bitch from Florida.
I don't even know. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I haven't even watched it yet.
I'm not watching it.
Watched it.
I refuse.
Me too,
Sibbett,
man.
we had this conversation. I thought you were going to go home and watch so that we could discuss. And what are you doing, Scott? Oh, my God.
Hey, the true Kitty King. Bubbles, man. Trailer Park Boys. Long live the Kitty King.
That show's awesome.
Yeah.
But since this whole tiger thing came out, I literally don't understand the internet at all for the last 4 days.
Nope.
Like, I have no idea what's going on.
Because it's just all Tiger King memes?
I'm lost.
Dude, seriously, all right, I'm telling you, there is not one single uninteresting, boring person in this entire thing. Some people say the first episode is a snore. Fucking skip through it if you have to. I don't care. You're gonna love it. There's murder. There's polygamy, gay polygamy. There's Prince Albert's. There's murder plots, there's explosives, there's lots of guns, there's lots of exotic animals and there's a drug lord involved, for fuck's sake, and he is the nicest guy who people are the meanest to, and you just like, it's crazy that you're like sticking up for the drug lord in this thing. Well, they were like, he was convicted. He served his time for drugs or whatever. And then he decided when he was done serving his time, he wanted to open one of these zoos. And all these assholes, especially that bitch down in Florida, Carol Baskin, was trying to sue him out of existence and keep him out of the exotic drug or exotic animal trade or whatever. And he's like, I just want to have a zoo. Like, why don't you guys leave me alone?
Man. Well, I don't have to watch it now, right?
No,
you do.
Mark, stay strong. Stay with me. Join the resistance. Join the resistance.
Oh, and expired meat and pizza.
Nope.
Seriously, guys. Oh my God, a person shoots
9 cans of
himself
ravioli
on. Oh my God.
Eat chicken fingers and get drunk.
Yes. See, I already don't even understand this conversation now. I'm lost.
Oh God, just watch it. All right, you will enjoy it. Trust me.
That's funny.
Some people said that it will suck you in, and then it wasn't really worth the finish. The grand finale wasn't worth it, or whatever.
Take it.
But other people said that they were hooked immediately and watched the whole thing.
I was hooked. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a part 2. This was a 7-part series, docuseries, so whatever. Fine, we'll move on. You guys don't, Scott, you don't want to watch it. That's fine. I'm just going to start peppering you with memes now from Tiger King only.
It's all right.
Just kidding.
It's a reason for me to finally quit Facebook. I don't understand it anymore.
I will try and find the best clip and send it to you. But that bitch totally fed her husband to the tigers.
Ain't nobody care. Anyway.
All right, we'll move on. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Well,
as one of my students said to me one time, ain't nobody care.
Shut up. How old?
5th graders.
That's perfect to say to Scott. When is OK Boomer coming back?
No, I'm not a boomer.
I know, but when is your show OK Boomer coming back?
I don't know, man. Like, Zach canceled it, so talk to that guy.
My friend just messaged me and said everyone's a Tiger King expert now.
No, OK Boomer is going to take on a different. I know, Zach. I'm just giving you a hard time, brother.
Oh my God, I was like making a note to you.
No, OK Boomer had to take a hiatus. You know,
I was gonna be like, I never okayed that bullshit. What the hell? I'm just kidding. Kidding. That is not how we talk to each other in meetings.
Right? No, it just wasn't. It wasn't coming out the way I had envisioned it. I wasn't feeling the creative vibe of that show. And I anticipate OK Boomer will come back in a new iteration, probably sometime over the summer, maybe sooner, if the situation stays the same. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm still stuck at home, I've got extra time.
Well, dude, I thought they already said done. You guys kids are not coming back for the rest of the year.
No, they haven't officially said that here.
Oh, okay.
That's not here. They did that. They've done that in a couple of different states. Arizona was the most recent. Lincoln Public Schools today announced that they would not be returning until at least May 6th. Like, they just keep putting these dates on it here, okay? Yeah. And it's like, so like, really,
Lincoln's crazy.
It's right around the corner. But the thing is, it's got to be right around the corner.
But you think about it, school's scheduled to end May 22nd anyway.
Oh.
What's the point of coming back for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to presume that we are done. But there's been learning directives. Like, we are being asked to facilitate learning online.
And just send out links. Here you go.
Yeah.
Good luck. I'm kidding.
No, I've got a plan. This is my first year as a teacher, so it's been very overwhelming. And I had just really started to feel like I was getting my legs under me in my classroom and the flow and the planning. And then all this happens. And now it's got an entirely new face and an entirely new look to it. And everyone's scrambling. Teachers are scrambling, trying to figure out what's the best way to deliver this. How do we keep our minds fresh? I mean, that's the reality of the situation. And I don't know what the answer is. I think every age, there's not a one size fits all answer in this scenario.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, definitely not.
What a second grader needs is not the same as what a sixth grader needs. You can't cookie cut your way into this. So I don't know. I mean, it's all above my pay grade at this point. So I'm doing when they give me a directive, I do what they ask me to do. So that's how I'm responding to it. When you talk about school being canceled, I'm still working. I'm still planning. I'm still facilitating education. The kids just aren't coming to my classroom. So the challenge we run into is that, you try and schedule a meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. On an account like Zoom. And we'll talk about Zoom now. This is a good transition into the Zoom conversation. But OPS
we had that.
OPS has their own platform that we've been using. We've been using the Microsoft Teams. And what we're doing is you host a meeting and you get all these kids on here. Well, my son had one of these today, as a matter of fact, had a 10 o'clock meeting. And luckily, we're in a position, my wife's working from home. I'm working from home, but I have the flexibility that I can set him up on a computer. He says second grade.
Right.
He's not going to be able to set up and log in and
And luckily, you don't have to be on at the same time he needed to be on.
Think about these poor parents that maybe they have one computer in their house, and that parent is working and has to use it. There's no way that student can get online. You know what I mean?
Oh, Eric, did you guys? Sorry.
I saw that about the potato meeting. No, that was not my boss. That was not my boss. But so I don't know if you guys saw, we got directive now that Zoom, we can't use them for our classroom. We can't use Zoom at all because Zoom has been hacked. So what's happened while people are facilitating these classrooms, people have hacked it and they're putting up pornography. They're putting porn on there while these teachers are trying to teach these little kids. And people are putting porn up there and changing.
Can you kick them out? Do you have that capability in Zoom to kick somebody out of your room?
You do, but the problem is if they take over the Zoom from the facilitator perspective, then you can't.
Oh, so now you just can't do it. I'm sorry, excuse me.
So now they've said no, you can't you can't
But
use.
how much of a
Zoom.
problem was that? Like, how often was that really happening?
It came out as an FBI warning today. So
I could see it being an FBI warning if it happened 5 times across the United States. You know what I mean?
yeah, I don't know. I barely skimmed the article just to get enough information about it to be dangerous. So
Zach, go look for that article. I want to read it, please. All right, Sibbett, what's going on with your hair? I just noticed it's totally sticking up.
The
And it's
fuck
kind
is
of-
your problem with my hair?
So, how'd you guys watch The Tiger King? There's a meme. See, now this is why people say he looks like Ben Stiller. Do you guys see it? Much better.
Hold on, here's Blue Steel.
Ah,
Magnum.
There's a hair on my face. Oh God.
Fuck's going on with your hair, Dre?
My hair looks amazing. Thank you very much. Does it not?
It does actually.
Thank you.
Mark, we're in our 40s. We should just be grateful we have hair.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Count your little blessings, bitches.
I'm just trying to show that off, you know? That's like 5 inches right there. Isn't that good for a guy?
Yeah.
Here's the national average. So if you do need a haircut, I know I have the hookup. Black market.
Free market. Free market.
Free market. Gray market. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't
what's
even
going
know
on?
what Methods of Mayhem is.
You don't know who Methods of Mayhem is? If I'm not mistaken, that was Tommy Lee's band.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, good God. Was that
Yeah.
heroin that
Did
made
you-
him shrink into that little what?
Did you guys see the Motley Crue Netflix documentary?
Yes.
No.
I thought it was trash.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like corny, I thought. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say trash, that's pretty harsh. Like it was still entertaining, but I thought it was super corny.
I agree.
Oh. I hate
I agree.
corny.
I felt like it could have been very well. It could have been done a lot better. You know, Motley Crue was one of my first devil bands, back in the early '80s. When I say first devil bands, that was the first band that I brought home a record, and then it was like, oh, that's the devil's music. It was shout
Are
at
you
the
going to
devil,
play
right?
that backwards?
Right, right.
So I'm not going to date myself. Never mind.
It was the first band that wasn't actually named after a devil after your band name, like
Right.
Abaddon.
Abaddon.
It's funny. Just a little background. Scott knows my uncle Dave Siebler, who lives in Arizona right now. One of my friends just asked me this on the chat.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
So
Like,
Scott's known me since I was
Shorter than me.
figured it out. Yeah, like once upon a time when I was shorter than him. It was probably when I was like 7. So he's probably
Oh my
known me since
God.
I was like 7.
Yeah, that's
So
about right.
so he knows my buddy or my uncle Dave Siebler. They're really good friends, and they had a band together when they were in high school, and it was called Abaddon. And little did I know at the time, I think Abaddon was like a name in the Satanic Bible. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys probably just chose the name because it sounds badass.
No, I
And
pulled it right
does
out.
sound.
It's in the Bible. I pulled it right out of the fucking Bible.
Oh, okay, and it does sound badass. But that's something that my grandpa and Nana actually took me to an Abaddon concert one time too. And I was like in 9th grade. These guys were just headbanging on stage.
Yeah.
Abaddon.
So David and I were in a lot of bands together. So after the Abaddon days, we were in a band called Visual together, and then we were in a band called The Lid, and we were in another band called Off Machine.
I've heard that one, yeah.
And we're currently in a long game band called Murder Squirrel.
How long game are we talking?
So when he gets into town, we get together and we make murder squirrel noises.
Yeah.
We make murder squirrel noises, and it's good shit.
So
So
it all goes down in that room that you're in right there, doesn't it?
right here,
Please tell me they don't sound anything like ostrich noises.
no, it's good. It's groovy jam rock, dude. You'd like it.
I've eaten an ostrich egg before. Have you guys?
Oh no.
There's
Aren't they,
there's an
this big?
ostrich farm. Yeah, they're giant. There's an ostrich farm outside of Phoenix, and you crack it open, just like a regular egg. Pour that
Just
thing
scoop
out.
it out. Oh.
There's tons of, they're huge. There's tons of it in there. We fed like our entire family off of one
Okay,
egg.
that was going to be my next fucking question.
Yeah.
So are they really rich? I've heard like duck eggs are like rich compared to chicken eggs. I don't eat eggs for those watching.
Like the best way for me to describe them is that they were like super light and fluffy. Like they were just like really light, That's what it tasted like. I don't know. It didn't really taste that different, to be honest with you.
Than a chicken egg?
Yeah, not really.
Have you had a duck egg?
No.
Okay. I haven't either. I know people I have a friend who has like 12 ducks in her backyard. She's always giving us duck eggs. I don't eat them. John loves them. He says they're.
I heard they're good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The ducks are really fun to hang out with.
Sure.
They're hilarious. Please share, and subscribe. What the fuck?
Please lie. Please. What are we, the government? Yeah.
There's no lying here.
There's an apartment complex on like 156 and Q where ducks are just walking through the complex the whole time. So you have to drive like 5 miles an hour so you don't hit a duck.
Oh.
That's how it is in my neighborhood with turkeys.
Really?
You have turkeys?
All of the turkeys. Yeah.
Oh my God. So my old neighborhood where I lived had turkeys only one season. But there was a parkway, right? You know what a parkway is? There's like a big giant median between the sides of the traffic. These guys are trying to cross and they're totally just taking their sweet time. They have no idea I'm there. I'm just like hanging out. So I start filming them and I'm like, I wonder what will happen if I tap my horn. I made one of these things jump so fucking high. I felt so bad. But then they got to cross the road.
Don't take Dre to the drive-through safari, man. Get the fuck out of my way, you moose.
Just pulls out an air horn.
Right?
No, I'm trying to jump out of the car to hug them. Like, I want to pet all the animals. I have to remember that it is not okay. They do not like me, especially geese. They want to like just murder me, but they're so cute.
That's funny.
And they have the perfect necks for hugging.
Necks for hugging.
Yes.
Mercedes, she said her chickens laid green eggs.
My ducks laid white eggs and my chickens laid green eggs. Oh, weird. I wonder why that is. Do you know why that is, Mercedes? Mercedes lives out in western Nebraska. She's a
Dr. Seuss month.
I was going to say, did she eat ham with it? You better have.
Oh my God, am I being a total ditz right now? Is she just fucking with?
I don't think she is, but maybe.
It seems like
past her.
It seems like she's serious, but
she's probably pretty serious.
It could go either way, I think, with her.
Right?
Help us out, Mercedes.
She could totally be fucking with me, or she could totally be serious. God damn it.
Do you know her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's funny crap.
Yeah, she lives out in western Nebraska. She's a Nebraska libertarian chickie.
So, Mr. Z, how do you feel about stand-up comedy? How far into stand-up are you now?
So what's the official answer, or what do I say? I'm in my second year of comedy.
Always say the truth. Don't be one of those clowns.
Think about it, man. It's 2020, right? I started in 2019. It's 2020. I'm in my second year. I'm not going to stop, but I've been doing it since July.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see, all right. I understand where Sib's coming with this because you go.
I would really never say I'm in my second year. It's an old sales joke. Like when when you're a sales guy, like that's what they tell you. That's the justification. You know what I mean? I'm in your house trying to sell you something.
Sure. Yeah.
How long you been doing this? Oh, I'm in my second year. That's your. You know what I mean? That's your answer. But
stand-up comedians will do it, to be like, oh, he's come so far in just 3 years, when they've actually been doing it for 9 years.
Right.
Which is a huge difference.
Right. No, I've been doing it every year.
Like, so how good are you? You know what I mean? At whatever the thing is. So if you say, I've been doing it for this long, are you good enough to have been doing it that long, or will that make you look bad? Would it make you look better if you've been doing it for 9 years and you say 3?
Sure. Well,
That's always the catch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be like better than what you say, obviously. You know what I mean?
Right.
For it to work.
But to answer your question, how deep into it am I, Mark? I mean, that's like how immersed am I into comedy?
I think
I'm a
just
recreational
went down
comic.
long.
So you started like 9 months ago, but you've had to take some time off because of school, right?
Yeah. So, and I haven't been taking time off. You know what I mean?
You've been thinking about it every day, and you like write a lot, right?
I write and I practice at home, and I've still been doing those shows. You know what I mean? And I'm working as a comedian as often as I want to work as a comedian. Well, up until this whole coronavirus thing, I was working as a comedian as often as I wanted to work as a comedian. Doing those shows. Do you know what I mean? Putting those shows together, getting up on stage, having a good time doing it, people laughing when they're supposed to laugh. So I'm getting out of it what I want to get out of the. I'm a hobbyist. I'm a hobbyist comedian.
Sure.
I have no delusions of grandeur. I don't see myself on a Netflix special at any point in time. I maybe I'll become a YouTube sensation. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll leverage this into my YouTube career. Being a YouTuber is a thing, right? That's what all the kids want to grow up and be.
Well, I think all the executives.
YouTubers.
Oh, we are YouTubers. Look at that. I have arrived.
We're influencers. Just kidding. I will never call myself that. I am a YouTuber. I put out content. End of story.
But with that being said, I miss the open mics tremendously. So I would always consider myself like a summertime comedian at this point. Like knowing that I'll hit every fucking open mic I can during the summer months when I'm off work and when we're free to move about the country again. I'll get back out and do those open mics. So when you say I haven't been working at it, I guess that's an interesting thing when we talk about comedy. I'm sorry, I've got a lot to say about fucking stand-up comedy.
It just seems like you took just a little bit of offense to that. I've been working on it, Sibbett. Fuck you. Just kidding.
Right.
It's an interesting scene.
Taking some time off, right? Come on. I didn't mean it like that.
It's an interesting.
But you don't necessarily have to say 9 months, because this is what we're talking about, though, is like, what's your actual number, you know? Like, if you had to take 3 months off because you became a teacher and you didn't go to any open mics, like, do you minus that 3 months from your 9 month number? It's a real question.
If I didn't get stage time within the month, yes. Okay.
Really? What if you're though actively writing jokes and rehearsing material?
If you're actively working at it, then I say 9 months. You know what I mean? If I'm actively working and practicing it, because that's still part of the comedy role.
Totally. Just if you don't have time to go get stage time, if you're still writing jokes and stuff, I would say that you're still actively a comedian.
Yeah, I think so too.
But up until this plague, I was working as much as I wanted to as a comedian. So
I was not getting to see you as much as I wanted to. Were you doing a lot of shows in La Vista? Is that what was happening?
So the Saturday night thing is in Sarpy County, and I know you guys don't like to come out to Sarpy County.
We'll do it. We don't.
But that's an open mic. You know what I mean?
Were you doing Tuesdays or something? Like, why was there a reason I wasn't able to go to your shows? There had to be a reason.
Because you don't like me. No, it's this.
I know.
Dre loves your sets. Every time I say that, she's like, "I love Scott's stand-up," and then she's like, "Oh wait, he changed that joke right there. He changed that one."
I love it. She loves it. That reminds me, Mark. I took some of the feedback you gave me and some insights you gave me, and I finished up one of my jokes. That 2-minute joke that I wrote. That I was trying to hash out. Like, I took your feedback and I think I applied it to it, and I think I rolled it out at that open mic. And man, the crowd went wild. I think.
Nice.
I think.
Yay. Okay.
I don't really know because it was on the internet. Because you know what I mean. You're not really seeing. Brooke laughed. I saw Brooke laughed.
Yeah, right.
So,
well, 2-minute joke. That's kind of a big deal, right? Because that's like a lot of content.
A lot of content.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know, when you get like to 5 minutes, to do a whole 5-minute set on one bit, not just a topic, but like one story, the same story for 5 minutes. For me, like at this level, that's a lot for me. So that's something I've kind of been thinking about, is like, can I put together a 5-minute story? Like, if you did like the Clash of the Comics at the Funny Bone and you did that competition, could you do a 5-minute story or just one story and win the competition? You know what I mean? And that's challenging for 5 full minutes, actually. And some
Is that
comics,
your allotted time at that Clash of the Comics?
yeah, it is. And that's kind of like the standard. If you think about it, like to start out, you need kind of your first type 5. Because if you think about it, even if you get on TV, like the late night show, they're all doing 5 minutes. So it's like you need a type 5 for sure.
Right.
I mean, obviously,
to have one story is way different than a type 5.
it is, yeah. So to have like one tight story that's 5 minutes, and then like the best comedians, like sometimes you pay attention to it, their stories will go like 15 minutes. You're just like, what the fuck? How did he keep our attention for 17 minutes on one story?
Okay, so not a comedian, but somebody who was in the public eye and started doing comedy who does that is Steve-O.
Oh yeah.
I saw him at the Funny Bone a couple of years ago when he was doing this, and he would tell stories like his family was in the carnival business. That's why he's bendy, and you know what I mean? He doesn't give a fuck about putting his body on the line for all those jackass things.
Obviously.
Right. So it was interesting. He told a lot of stories about when he was younger and growing up and stuff like that you would never know otherwise, obviously, from Jackass. So that was kind of cool. So maybe look into that.
Huh.
Maybe that's a source.
That is cool. Yeah, so I think one of my brothers saw him at the Funny Bone, and they said that he literally just like sat up there and told party stories for like an hour. You know what I mean? He just like told stories.
It was stories, but it wasn't all party stories. Like,
sure, okay.
That would have been kind of boring if he was like, "Oh yeah, this one time we got fucked up. It was so great, man. I drank this many beers." Like, I don't care.
Yeah, for sure. So it wasn't all just like about, well, he's sober too, right?
Right. Yeah. So he's sober. And he's done so many drugs, and yeah.
What I really appreciate about the comedy scene here in Omaha is the willingness to provide feedback. A lot of comedians are very willing to reach out and say, "Hey, I noticed this about you. Maybe try that. Maybe try this instead." Something simple like moving the mic stand out of the way that a lot of comedians don't think about. My first open mic that I had somebody do it live on Facebook for me. And I got an email, an unsolicited direct message, a DM from another comedian that was like, "Hey, it took me a long time to figure this out, and I thought I'd help you out. Move the mic stand out of your way."
Yeah.
Yeah, if you take it out to hold it.
Kent, thanks for that feedback, man. That was great. He and I became close friends after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Dre,
I love Kent.
Dre, I think he's talking about the mic stand. Like when you pull the mic out, then you take the mic stand and you put the mic stand behind you. Yep.
Get it off the stage, get it out of the way. Yeah.
That's right.
I got that feedback. And then you, man, gave me the tight 5 advice, like work on your tight 5 and then expand it, and that's what I've done. Like I've got to a point now where I feel like I've got a tight 15. Like I've got a pretty strong 15-minute set. I can even go up to 2 minutes. If I ramble some of my jokes out, I can go up to 20 minutes. But I feel like it's a pretty strong 15-minute set for the most part. And I've done that through your 5-minute rule. So I've done like 5 minutes, 5 minute, 5 minute little spotches. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, once you figure out, like once you learn the lessons that it takes to build like a tight 5 and have kind of like, obviously nothing is set in stone. Like you don't have to.
It's always evolve.
You don't have to have like a couple different chunks or anything like that. I mean, you could just do one story like we're talking about. Like, so there's nothing hard and fast, but the stuff that if you do like kind of how they teach you to do a standard like type 5, you start off with some crowd work a little bit if you can, or something that's obvious about the way that you look or something to maybe just build the trust and get everybody on the same page, and then you work through it. You end with your strongest joke. They say to start with your second strongest joke and then you end with your strongest joke. But like all the lessons that you learn, if you can put together a type 5, you basically just like can expand it out from there, like you're saying. So like 15 minutes isn't that far away from 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Not even a little bit. You know what I mean? Once you got 5, it's like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
and
be interesting and funny. Just kidding. All right, guys, we need to start wrapping up. I'm going to pimp out our awesome artist again that did our amazing cartoon, Mr. Jeff Deadlow Studios. The link is in the comments. Mark, tell people where they can normally come and find you and talk about your website. We put it in the comments, but go ahead.
Normally, I work a lot at the Comedy Loft. It's a comedy club in Lincoln. It's in the Haymarket. It's across from Laszlo's down in the Haymarket. But I do a lot of emceeing there. They give me a couple opportunities to like headline a couple shows there and stuff too. We do an open mic there that I host, and then we do a comedy workshop there as well too. So if anybody's interested in trying to get into comedy, we had like 15 people do it last time, and it was a really good time. And like for all of them except for one person had never been on stage before.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we kind of taught them like how to do their first 5-minute set. And then the second week they came back and actually performed their first 5-minute sets like in front of a live audience there at the club. So that was super cool. So the Comedy Loft is doing a bunch of good things, and I had a bunch of paid gigs that were canceled there. So I'm looking forward to getting back there. So that's one place that I work a lot. And then I always do the open mics in Omaha and stuff. And then I do have a group on Facebook where I just post some little bits. Once I'm actually on stage again, I'll start posting more video. And then you can like rate your favorite bit, out of the videos or whatever that I post. So I do some stuff like that on my Facebook group, and it's called Sibs Stand Up. So it's just SIB apostrophe S stand up, Sibs Stand Up group. So you can just try to add that, and then I'll make sure you get on board.
Awesome.
So yeah, thanks for listening and paying attention, and thanks for having me.
Anytime,
no
we'll have
problem.
you again.
I see you guys all the time, but I don't really see you this way usually. So
And then I'm going to take a minute and pimp mine.
Yes, please, Scott, I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. Don't. If you guys would go to like and share at Mr. Z Comedy. That's my comedy page, my comedy Facebook page. I post a meme a day at 4:20 p.m. every day. It's called the 420 Funny. But guess what, motherfuckers? Tomorrow's April. It's 420 all month. You get 2 a day, 2 memes a day, 2 420 funnies coming up. It's going to be lit. So at Mr. Z Comedy, make sure you go, you like, you follow, share with your friends. Everybody needs a little bit of humor in their lives. That's my job, is to share the memes. So anyway, you guys, that's what I got.
All right. We will see you probably Thursday. Do we have a show scheduled Thursday? I don't know. Let me check. Hold on. But we will be doing... We
have a delegate meeting on Thursday.
Okay.
If there's nothing on the schedule for Thursday, I'm going to do something with Caleb.
Okay. I may join them. Who knows? But see you Thursday, guys.
Peace out.